Hi folks, coming up in this video I'll be doing a full walkthrough tour of the Excellence El Carmen resort in the Dominican Republic. I'll give you all of the information about the bars and the restaurants there, plus the resort in general. I'll also reveal a hidden gem that I discovered on the resort that I wish I knew about before I travelled there, because it may well have saved me hundreds of dollars, but it may save you some money too. Welcome to Quite Genius. So the journey to Excellence El Carmen is about 45 minutes from Punta Cana International Airport. And by the way, if you want to arrive there in real style, then be sure to check out my video on the airport's own VIP arrival service, and I'll link to that in the description below. Now, if you book your stay directly with the resort for 3 or more nights, then they're going to offer you complimentary private transfers from and back to the airport via Excellence's partner Seasons Tours. You just need to email them your reservation details once you book, and they'll take care of the rest. When you arrive at the resort though, you can properly start to unwind, and you'll be greeted by staff who's going to take care of all of your luggage, and you'll also be offered a nice cold glass of sparkling wine or orange juice, and that's before you even set foot through the door. Speaking of which, take a moment for a mental pause as you step inside. And as you do, take a big deep breath in, and you'll notice a blast of air conditioning that's infused with the most amazing relaxing scent. And you'll hear the relaxing music too. Audibly, visually and olfactorily, this lobby is simply breathtaking, so take the time to really appreciate it. If you've booked a standard suite, then you'll be checking in at the main check-in desk area, which is just at the back of the shop there with the green tiles on the wall. However, if you've booked an Excellence Club suite, then you'll be shown to a private area to check in, and that's going to be the Excellence Club Lounge. It's keycard entry to keep all of the other hotel riffraff out, and it's also home to its own bar and restaurant, which is for the exclusive use of Excellence Club members. The restaurant's called Magna, and this is where you'll find the famous 45-ounce tomahawk steak, which is great if you're a fan of having the best part of a cow delivered to your table. Now, you may wonder what the difference is between a regular suite and an Excellence Club suite. Well, so the main difference is actually going to be the price, because you can expect to pay anywhere between $80 and $150 extra per night just for the privilege of staying in an Excellence Club suite. So the next question would be, is it actually worth it? And believe it or not, this is actually a hotly debated topic on various Facebook groups. Now, I can only speak from my own experience, having done both types of suites. We stayed a couple of years ago at a finest resort in Mexico where we just got a standard suite, which was absolutely fine. And then more recently at Excellence El Carmen in a club suite. So what is it exactly that you get extra for your money, apart from access to the Excellence Club Lounge and Magna restaurant? Well, first of all, you're greeted in your suite with a bottle of sparkling wine, which was a nice touch, and they also deliver petit four to your suites every day as well. They also upgrade your toiletry selection in the bathroom from the standard Excellence brand to Bulgari, and you also get an upgraded liquor selection as well, so you get premium spirits. But it gets slightly better after that, because as an Excellence Club guest, you also get access to your own cabana on the beach. And what you would do, there's actually a concierge desk on the beach itself. You'd go there, give them your room number, and they will look after you for the day. They set your cabana up for you by putting the towels down, and if you happen to have forgotten any sun cream or insect repellent, then they'll supply that complimentary to you as well. So for me personally, I thought the best little upgrade was the complimentary spa treatment. Now granted, it's the cheapest one, it's the hydrotherapy, and I think if you was going to buy it, it would be about $60 or $70. I actually thought that this was going to be rubbish, but I was really pleasantly surprised, so much so that I actually went back a couple of days later and actually paid for another one. It was brilliant. I can highly recommend it. But the question is the whole Excellence Club thing worth it as a whole? I would say if you're only going to be staying at the resort for a few nights and you intended coming to the spa anyway, then the chances are it's going to be worth the extra money, and you get a bit back obviously with the spa treatment. However, anybody that's coming from further afield will tend to stay at a resort much longer. Like us Brits, will stay for about 2 weeks, and even at $100 extra a day, that's $1,400 in total, and the perks just simply aren't worth it. So yeah, great if you're only staying for a few days and want to splurge a bit, not so much if you're going to be staying any length of time. Hope that clears that up. And seriously, if you do nothing else whilst you're here, then be sure to get yourself a spa treatment. It's going to change your life, well, for about an hour. You don't need to be an Excellence Club guest to book, and there are discounts available. However, if you're only staying for a few days, then be sure to book ahead, as they do get booked up quickly. You will find all of the details of the spa on the app. Speaking of which, so you're definitely going to need to download the app before you arrive at the resort, and when you do, you simply scroll down the list and choose Excellence El Carmen, and then you're going to see a screen that's going to ask you whether you want to pair your room to the app. You can just tap on cancel for now, and it will still give you all of the information about the resort. And there is a lot on there as well, everything that you could possibly need to know about the resort, the room that you're staying at, the facilities. But crucially, the main reason that you're going to need the app is because there aren't any physical menus in any of the bars or restaurants. So obviously you're going to need to know what you're going to be ordering, and this is where you're going to find it. But also for each individual restaurant, you'll find the opening times on there, and you'll also find the dress codes as well, which is very, very useful. You can also look at the spa and look at the treatments they offer, and you'll also see discounts for them as well. So yeah, it's an absolute must-have for the resort. And just off the main lobby, you've got a photography studio there. You can hire a photographer to capture all of your special moments at the resort. And I know what you've been thinking, Pete, can I get married at Excellence El Carmen? Well, yes you can. They've even got their own wedding planning service, and the packages themselves are actually quite reasonable. However, I think the pricing may be structured on the basis of how many paying guests you're bringing into the resort. I'll leave a couple of handy links in the description which will give you more information. And just next door to that, you have the Art Deco piano bar. Now, I'm not sure whether this is actually still there or not, because I checked the app today and I can't find any trace of it whatsoever. So I'm not sure whether it's closed for a refurb or whether they might have called it something else now, but I just can't find it. So you're currently looking down into the lower half of the main building. It's called the Martini bar, and it's the main hub of the resort really. You'll find that people tend to gather here either before or after dinner, and they serve some great cocktails. They also have live musicians on here on certain nights, and it really does add to the vibe, so it's a good place to be. There's plenty more to show you downstairs, including a place where you can drink alcohol but convince yourself that it's just coffee and eat cake at the same time. I think it might be called Heaven. You look a little like somebody I know, and I can tell you how this ends. I'll be in your head all weekend. Shivers and butterflies. I get the shivers when I look into your eyes, and I can tell that you're all in, 'cause I can hear your heart beating. And just off to the side of the Martini bar, you've got the theatre area. It's semi-open air, and it's got its own bar called Stars, and there's entertainment on here on most nights. Gotta be honest though, the entertainment's not too great, however your enjoyment of it will be directly linked to the amount of cocktails that you have. Plus, you're at an all-inclusive resort where the drinks are free, so yeah, win-win. Anyway, on that note, I think we should go and check out outside. It's where they keep all of the sunshine. And next up is the Aroma Coffee Shop. Well, I say coffee shop, it's more like a cocktail bar masquerading as one. They serve a variety of different coffees with or without alcohol, and they also serve ice cream, cakes and all manner of sweet treats, and the staff are really friendly here too. Plus it's a great place to come and just watch the world go by. So just before we head down to the beach, I just wanted to show you where you'll find most of the restaurants at the resort, and there's a few things that you're going to need to know. So you'll find many of the restaurants in this area here. It's semi-open air, and I should point out that there's no air conditioning. Now that's not usually a problem, but if you're dining at peak times, for example after 7 PM, then you may need to wait for your table, and if you do, it can get quite uncomfortable. Now you don't need to book at any of these restaurants, but if you want the teppanyaki experience at Spice, then they do require a booking. It's also worth pointing out that not all of the restaurants are open daily, so check the app, especially if you're only staying for a few days. You'll find more restaurants at the top of this really nice spiral staircase. Just to mention though that if you or someone you're with has mobility needs, then there is always a more accessible option. The whole resort is great for that. Now, many of the restaurants have outdoor seating options, and Agave is one of them. Two of the most popular restaurants though are Basmati and Chez Isabel, and if you have to wait for a table at any restaurant here, then it's likely going to be these two. Also, you need to be aware that Chez Isabel is one of two restaurants at the resort with a stricter dress code. The other one is Magna, and I have seen them turn people away from both for not abiding by the dress code, so be sure to check the app for details. And next up is the kitchen table that's open for breakfast. It's an international buffet that has an unbelievable amount of choice, from breads and bagels to cooked meats, eggs, cheeses, soups, and pretty much everything in between. You can have cakes for breakfast if you want, or even ice cream, and just to reassure those who need it, yes, you can also get alcohol. In fact, they encourage it. Okay, so it's definitely time for the beach, and I think we'll take a quick trip down the side of the resort, which will bring us out at the front of Building 3, where you'll be able to see the types of view you get if you stay in an Excellence Club beachfront suite. And don't forget, I did mention at the beginning of the video that I would show you a hidden gem of the resort that could potentially save you hundreds of dollars. That's still to come, so definitely stick around for that. Okay, so we're currently standing at the front of Building 3, which is at the outer edge of one side of the resort. The beachfront buildings are 3, 5, 7 and 9, and they consist of the same types of suites. At ground level, you've got the beachfront honeymoon swim-up suites, and then the next two stories are the beachfront honeymoon rooftop terrace suites. And just on screen there, you can see a clip from the room tour video I did of our suite in Building 9. You'll also find a link to that video in the description as well. I'll also be doing a full tour of the beach in my next video, and there's definitely things that you need to consider if you are thinking about a stay at Excellence El Carmen, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss that one. Between buildings 3 and 5 and 7 and 9, you'll find these nice little beachfront bars. You're welcome to sit outside and drink here, but they never seem to get too busy, and that's mainly because a lot of the people tend to hang out at their own swim-up suite or by the main pool that I'll come to in a moment. So we're just approaching Building 5, and as I mentioned, it's the same as the others on the beachfront, so we'll head straight to the main pool. So this is the main pool area, and a little bit later you'll find a lot of people tend to hang out here. It also has its own bar, but this one is a swim-up called Blue. It also has two outdoor restaurants, the Lobster House and Oregano, that sit over the water, and you access those around the back. Now, if you decide that an Excellence Club suite or a beachfront suite isn't for you, then you'll likely get a suite something a little bit like these ones. But it's hardly a come down. This resort is beautiful all over, but in my opinion, the best bit lies a little bit further away from the beach. At the back of the resort lies what I think is a true hidden gem, and I did say at the start of the video that it could save you hundreds of dollars. Of course, you may well think that this is obvious given that it's tucked away a few minutes walk from the beach. However, therein lies the beauty, because if you allow yourself not to be tunnel visioned into thinking this is the be all and end all, then you open yourself to the true beauty of this resort. So why would anyone choose this over a beach view? Well, look around. You're surrounded by nature, peace and tranquility. It's an oasis of calm that most people disregard in favour of the norm. But what you might not have thought is that the typical vision of what a holiday should look like, with all its palm trees and beach, can very quickly turn into something you can stop appreciating. It can almost become, well, like wallpaper. And the fact that most people choose convention makes this place even better, because it feels like you have the whole place to yourself. There's even another pool and bar here that's almost always quiet because most people are at the beach. For a beachfront honeymoon suite, you can easily pay over $900 per night during high season. Go for a suite at the back of the resort in building 10 or 11 and you'll still get your own private pool, and you can knock about $150 off that nightly rate. So I hope you found this video useful, and if so, be sure to watch my other videos about Excellence El Carmen. In fact, there'll be another one soon about the beach here, and whilst there's no denying that this resort is beautiful, it may just make you think twice about booking. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.